Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kassiah. This is SiahSwag. We have a new tutorial today. I'm really excited about this one. So I've been doing this last little session of Bag of the Month Club bags. I did January and February, and now I'm doing March. I'm a couple weeks late, but I got it done. My schedule's been crazy. I love this bag. It is so different and unique, and I haven't seen anything like it at all, ever, which is super cool and hard to say anymore because I feel like a lot of things are repeated, right? But this is definitely a different style of bag, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Okay, this is the Etol Convertible bag. You guys, how cool is this? It's got a round base, which I find super fun. It was not hard to sew. Don't let the round base detour you. It was an easy round base. It's got some cool pockets and features on it. The coolest thing about this is it converts to a backpack. So you have a zipper on your strap here, which was not hard. It was not hard. So if you wanted to carry it as a backpack, wait, other way. I keep trying to do this the wrong way. You just move this O-ring to the top there, and then you unzip. And then you have a backpack. You guys, how cool is that? I love this bag. Yeah, I hope this video helps. I think bags like this sometimes intimidate people. Don't let that be the case. It is not necessarily hard. There's just a few more steps involved in making a bag like this, but I'm pretty sure if you go slow, take your time, like I always say, you can do anything. So the things I used on this bag are denim from Tulip Bee. I used this pre-quilted nylon from Wonderground. I absolutely love it. And then I used, oh gosh, the inside, you guys. Let's see if I can show it. It's hard to show on camera here. Okay, so the inside, I don't know if you can see those feathers. Do you see those feathers? Those cotton feathers are from Thunderbird Handcrafted. They are cotton and they are just absolutely gorgeous. You can see it better in the video as I go. So inside you have slip pocket, two slip pockets, two zipper pockets. Okay, so you got lots of pockets on the inside. I did a double zipper closure along the top. You don't have to do that. I interfaced with fleece for the most part and woven on all of my cotton. And then I did Decaville out of my seam allowances and fleece on the base. Things I would change. I would go lighter on my materials. The denim with the woven and the fleece, too much. It gets pretty thick in places like these where your connectors are, and up here where all of this comes together, it gets pretty thick. So if you have a lighter weight machine, be very aware of those thicknesses and how you piece this together. I think if you wanted to do a full vinyl bag, you totally could, but I would omit any interfacing except for the base and maybe on your connectors. Other than that, I would just leave it plain. If I were to do this in like waxed canvas or waterproof canvas or thicker non-vinyl material, again, I would probably only interface the bottom because it doesn't need a lot. Absolutely love it. Guys, go check it out. I'm sure they usually release these patterns, I want to say 3 months after the Bag of the Month Club release. So if you're not a member, you'll just have to wait. It's the Make Space, and that is the designer of this bag. I will link the Bag of the Month Club below so you can have all that information and all the materials I used and where you can get it all. All the hardware and zipper tape is my website. And gosh, I love this. I think it's such a cool, unique design. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps me out. And let's start sewing up this gorgeous bag. Okay, let's go over our pieces for this Etol Convertible. I'm using a combination of materials: denim, cotton, pre-quilted nylon, and canvas. So hopefully it makes a great bag. All right, so for my straps, I'm using the denim. I'm not interfacing the denim straps. I think they'll be fine as is. So I have my centers marked and taped, ready to go. I have 2 of those. My base pieces, I have my lining out of cotton. It is, all my cotton has woven interfacing on it. And then my denim exterior bottom base piece, it has fleece and Decaville light out of my seam allowances. I'm not doing purse feet. The pattern has purse feet instructions. I'm not doing it for this bag, but you're more than welcome to do that. My middle panels, I have 2 exteriors, and I did fleece on those as well. And then I have my 2 linings, which is just this water resistant canvas. My end panels, again, are 2 of these with fleece. I didn't put it all the way to the top. She suggests leaving it a little bit lighter there. I think that's where the bulk of the zipper and the connectors and everything are, so pay attention to that. And then my 2 lining pieces are this cotton, again, with a woven interfacing on them. My exterior combo pocket pieces, I have 2 denim and 2 cottons. So that's pattern G piece. My pattern B pieces is the interior combo pocket and slip pocket. I have 4 of those out of this canvas. Pattern piece B. Pattern piece A, interior pocket backing. I have 2. And this again is just a water resistant canvas, piece A. My zipper pocket, I have 2 lining pieces for the inside zipper pocket. The exterior pocket backing, I have 2 denim and 2 cotton. I'm starting to think I probably didn't need to do woven interfacing on this denim. It might be pretty thick, but my machine can handle it, but just keep that in mind. That's piece F. And then I have my connectors. I have 3 connectors. 1 will be at the top with an O-ring, and the other 2 will be with the rectangle ring for the straps. So you should have 3 of those. I have all of my zippers. Hopefully I cut them all out correctly. I have 4 for my zipper pockets, and then I have 1 for that main closure and 1 for the straps, okay? And then my hardware, I have a bunch of zippers, zipper pulls. I have an O-ring. This is just a 1.5 inch O-ring. I have 2 1-inch rectangle rings. And then I have 2 1-inch adjustable sliders. And then I have my nameplate. I think that is all. You could use some rivets if you wanted to rivet the straps instead of sew. I think I'm going to sew them. But that is your prerogative, whatever you want to do. And all right, let's dig into this bag. Okay, so she starts with the lining. So I have one of my main lining pieces here. And I'm going to do mine just a little bit different. It's a zipper pocket. She does a zipper facing. I'm not a big fan of zipper facing, so I am just going to use my lining piece here and use this instead of the zipper facing. So it's totally up to you. It's pretty much the same thing. You draw your box on it. I placed mine 8 3/4 inch up from the bottom. It's a little bit different than she has in the pattern because I'm doing it on the actual zipper piece. I drew my box. I'm going to sew around my box, cut that out, and pull that through to the back. I have my iron warming up because it will help to kind of give this a little press. I have cotton, so I can do that. I want my stitching a little bit smaller, my stitch length a little bit smaller for something like this. So it's at a little bit less than a 4. And we are going to sew around this box. Okay, just like that. Again, that's just in place of the zipper facing. So whichever one you prefer. The idea of the zipper facing is that it matches your lining. So when you turn it through to the other side, it kind of matches the front. So if that's what you prefer, please do it that way. I'm just doing it a little bit different way. There are multiple ways to do zipper pockets. There is no one set right way. I feel like everybody needs to try different things till they figure out which one they like the best. So, all right, so I did the little Y seam cut there. I'm going to pull this through to the back, and I will take this over to my iron. I'll probably cover it with a Teflon sheet too, because I don't want to get that heat on the water resistant canvas here, but I will give this a nice press along this box and press it back like that. And then we will put in our zipper. Okay, so there is my zipper opening. I'm going to go ahead and just place my zipper in there. I want it opening from left to right. So it's, sorry, closing to the left. All right, so I'm going to take my zipper is way too long. I'm going to have to cut it down. I just went ahead and cut them all the same. I wasn't sure. So I will be trimming this down. So I like to do the bottom edge first. Flip this up and get it fitted in there nicely. Okay, and then I will take the tape off the top and fit it on the top. Adjust how you need. Beautiful. All right. So that's what it looks like in there. Beautiful. So I am going to just sew all the way around this zipper now, and then I will sandwich the other lining on top. All right. Not the best I've ever done. I kind of went a little wonky right there. That's okay. It's just an inside zipper. All right. So because of the way I did it, I probably should have just left both of my pieces the same size, but that's okay. I had to piece this together because I was all out. I'm going to do it this way so you don't see it at the top. So for this pocket, this is our turning pocket. This is what we're turning the bag through. So I will leave the bottom open. I'm not going to close up the bottom, but we just piece this right on top, right sides together, wrong sides out. All right, I am going to just sew along the top real quick and get those two connected. And then I need to trim this so they're the same size along the bottom. For me, I like to, again, this was pieced together, just ignore this seam. I like to fold it up and have it prepped and ready for closing it up. So I'm just going to put some tape. You don't have to do this. You could always press it too to give it that fold. This is just what works for me. Come on, tape. And then I just fold this up even. All right, so now I want to close the sides of the pocket here. So I will do it with it pulled up like this. And it needs to be taken down a little bit. It's a little bit too big, so I'll probably go about there. You don't want this stuck in your seam. Yeah. So if you trim your zipper tape, make sure that you are sealing those edges there of the zipper tape. Okay, and now I'm going to do this other side here. Okay, so there is my zipper pocket opened. And then I want to do a slip pocket. So we have our slip pocket pieces here. Okay, I'm going to put those right sides together. It's at an angle, so make sure you are sewing the wider angle at the top. We're going to sew along that. Turn it right side out and top stitch, and this will be our slip pocket. It's just a little guy. If you wanted to make a bigger slip pocket, I think you totally could. It's just my iron. Okay. I'm going to top stitch that. And then you just want to sew it, match it up with the bottom raw edge. My dog is like, hello, why are you not letting me in? Just a minute, babe. Okay, so I'm going to sew 3 edges. Make sure your zipper pocket is not in the way. Okay, and then I will separate it down the middle as well. Again, there's so many different ways you could do the pockets on this bag. If you have a different method you want to do, a bigger slip pocket, like however you want to do it, go for it. Okay, and then you want to separate that down the middle. So I'm just going to take this and draw a line. I have my my top and bottom, well, it was marked. It's right here. My center's marked. Okay. I like to just go up and then come back down. Beautiful. Okay, so that is one part of the lining. Let's go to the other side. For this next pocket on the other side, we're going to be doing this pocket basically 3 times. This is the same process that you're going to do those outside pockets as well. Different pieces, but same process. So I have my 2-piece A interior pocket backing pieces. I have 2-piece B interior combo pocket pieces and a 10-inch zipper. All right. So I marked my centers on all of them, even the zipper. I put double-sided tape on the right side of each of my lining pieces. Okay, so for this first part, we're going to take your first smaller of the 2. So this is B, the smaller slip pocket piece, or zipper pocket, slip pocket combo. We want to center our zipper right side down. So right sides together, centered along this piece here. And I'm just using tape just like that. And then I will sandwich the other pocket piece of the same size on top of that. Okay, same side, sandwich it on top. So right sides together, zipper sandwich. We are going to sew all the way across this, flip them out, and top stitch. Okay, just beware your zipper pull. Move it out of the way if you need to. Here we go. I gotta move my zipper pull out of the way there. Okay, you want to fold those wrong sides together, right sides out, okay? So now it looks like this, and I'm going to top stitch along this edge here. I'm just kind of pull my pieces down as I go as well. Here we go. Yep. Okay, she doesn't base through us yet. Okay, so that's what you have. Okay, next, we're going to put the other 2 lining pieces on the top here. Okay, so these have an angle. They're wider at the top, more narrow at the bottom. So you want the wider end of these pockets. Okay, I've got my center marked. I'm going to lay my zipper right side down, sandwich. Zipper sandwich. Num, num, num. All right. Okay, get your other one. Right side down on top. Okay, sew that on. Okay, and now you want to flip them so they wrong sides together, right sides out. Okay, just like this. And now we're going to top stitch these two. Okay, here we go. All right, so far this is what we have, okay? Smaller pieces on the bottom, bigger piece on the top. What we're going to do is fold this piece back to meet the bottom of this piece. So you want these two edges to line up. Now, if you wanted to reduce bulk, you could trim back. You could close your slip pocket and have it trimmed back a little bit. Like there's ways to reduce the bulk, ouch, in these. But you want the bottoms to meet like this. And then when you put it on, you have a zipper pocket and a slip pocket. Pretty cool. I like it. I think if you didn't want all of these layers, you really could just do a front piece here and a back piece here and fold it like this, and have it raw edged on the inside. Depending on your materials. I'm using canvas. I could have totally done that. We want a top stitch here, and then we will put it onto our lining. Okay, there's that. Here's our lining. We're going to be putting it right on top there. And do you see how it goes with it? So you have your slip pocket and then you have your zipper pocket. It's pretty cool. I like it. All right, so I'm just going to clip that on and then we will baste it. Okay, here we go. You can go ahead and just trim this even and then melt those edges. Beautiful. Okay, there is our lining piece. All right, so at this point we are going to be piecing together all of our lining pieces. Well, the main panels, not the bottom yet. So you want to get your two side pieces and your main pieces. We are going to be adding them all together. So I have all of my centers clipped on everything, top and bottom, just putting that out there. And we want to just piece this all together along the sides. So I'm going to clip these right sides together all the way down and then sew, and then I'll just add each piece on and repeat until we have a big tube. I did have the thought, if you wanted to leave a bigger hole in your bag, you could leave, you know, a side open, you could leave a spot on the bottom open. I'm thinking if you're using thicker materials, you may want a bigger opening than just the pocket. So keep that in mind. Okay, so pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to add this next side here. Make sure you're not sewing your zipper pocket into anything. I'll be clipping it out of the way, or just moving it out of the way here on this piece. All right. Okay, next side here. All right, so now you have them all pieced together like this. And then you're going to do the last two sides here, and it makes a big old tube. Beautiful. Okay, when it's all said and done, you have this big tube of a bag. If you want to go ahead and do a bunch of notches into the bottom of this, you can. I'm going to see how mine fits first, and then we'll go from there. But let's put this aside and go to the exterior. We are going to move on to the exterior side pockets. They are exactly the same, pretty much the same way that we made that inside zipper slip pocket. Same process, just different pattern pieces, right? So this is what we're going for right here. This is our end result. I've already done one side. So you'll do this twice. So I have my bottom two lining pieces here and my top. I have tape along the top. Make sure you know which direction your pattern pieces go. And then my center's marked. I did my first one with this as the top, the whiter edge. That was incorrect. Yeah. So I unpicked and redid. So pay attention to which part you are putting onto the zipper. So I'm going to start with the bottom edge first, the bottom part, the smaller of the 4 pieces, I guess. All right, so centered zipper, right side down, tape along this side, and then we are going to sandwich the lining on top. Beautiful. And then we are going to sew along that, fold it out and top stitch, just like we did with the inside pocket. Like I said on the other one, your bulk does kind of add up doing this way. So just, you know, if you're worried about seams and the bulk of your bag, make sure that you don't interface these pieces much, or you could totally take out a couple of them and make them just raw edged on the inside. There's a few different options you could do. So I'm thinking, because the bag's like this, right? I want my zippers to be opposite. So when the bag's all put together, they're the same way. So this one is now closing to the right and this one's closing to the left. I think that makes sense in my head. I'll let you know later. All right. And then we want to do the top edge of the zipper. So here's my other piece. Exterior. Zipper right side down, centered, and then we'll add the lining. Okay, go ahead and stitch that on. Sew that on. There we go. Flip them out and top stitch. All right, and then you want these to come down here and match. And then we want to top stitch along there. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, if you want to reduce the bulk in the back here along the bottom, you could close up this zipper pocket a little bit more up like this. It's not going to be as deep, but then that you can cut that bottom bulk out of your seam allowance. Okay, so I can cut that up, and then this bottom edge won't be in the bottom part of my bag. That's one way to lighten up your seam allowance if you really need to. I'm just showing you in case you do. All right, and then we want to baste this onto our side panel piece. Okay, just like that. I'm actually going to baste it from this way so I know where I need to trim. Okay, we got a functional slip pocket, zipper pocket. It's beautiful. I'll trim all of this down and then we will go to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to piece together the exterior just like we did the lining. So we're just gonna go and do each panel. So I'm gonna take my front panel to this one, right sides together, and we're just gonna start clipping it. And I think she says just give it a good press. I think I'm gonna see if I can top stitch each panel on the exterior. I feel like it will give it a really nice look. We'll see, because it's super thick right here where the zipper is. So I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it. All right, go ahead and sew those two together. I think if I top stitch, I can top stitch with the seam going towards the front and back main panels like that and top stitch through here. That is what I'm going to do. I am going to leave the top seam here flat though. I'm just going to clip it about right there, because I think if that's laying flat, it might be easier. So I'm going to leave it flat there, but then push the rest towards that front panel piece and top stitch. Beautiful. So the only part where that's going to get difficult is on the very last panel where I make the tube. But other than that, it should work. All right, let's keep piecing these together. So this part I have to top stitch through the tube, which is kind of hard to show. Maybe if I switch cameras. Okay, all done. It's challenging, but not impossible to just sew through it so it's all top stitched. I'm going to turn it out so you guys can see what it looks like real quick. It's very cute. Okay, let's put on, I think next we attach the top zipper. Okay, so we're going to attach the main zipper and the exterior and linings together. I'm going to do this slightly different than she has in the pattern. I have my zipper tape cut a little bit longer and I have my centers marked. I did a little snip, but they are marked right there and there. And then I also have a line across the back of them evenly. So when I go to put my zipper pulls on, I can make sure it all lines up because I am going to separate my zipper. I feel like this might be an easier assembly with a separate zipper. And then I'm also going to put some tape instead of basting. So let's get some tape here. And I am going to tape this on. Okay, beautiful. I don't think it matters which side you start with. All right, here we go though. Okay, so I have my bag. Like, would this be easier if it was the other way? I'm not sure yet. Okay, so I'm gonna line up the center here, right side down to my exterior. And I'm just going to tape on the zipper tape up to here. I'm pretty sure we begin and end up here at this top. Okay. She doesn't say exactly in the pattern. I'm kind of guessing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Okay, just like that. So instead of basting that, I'm just going to go ahead and add my lining to it, which my lining needs to go right side down, right? I don't think it matters which way either. So I'm going to put another piece of tape. I should have just put a piece of tape on the front and the back. I'll do that next time. this right side out. And we are placing it inside here. Just like this. Okay, so it's right side up. My lining's right side out. So we're going right sides together. So I'm doing right side to the right side of my exterior, centered with the zipper sandwiched in between. Okay. I'll probably put some clips on too so it doesn't move when I go to sew it. All right, find my center here. Beautiful. And I think I want to open my seam there. Okay. Or maybe not. I'll just lay that seam flat. Okay. All right, we are now going to sew along this with our seam allowance along this zipper. All right, let's do it. Okay, the seam allowance along this zipper is bigger than we've been doing, so I did switch to a zipper foot so I can get that bigger seam allowance, okay? There we go. Come on. All right, awesome. So I think before, then we do the other side. I think it might be easier to go ahead and top stitch this side right now. So what I'm going to do is, she says if you can trim this down a little bit with pinking shears, I think. I'm going to try and do that. And then I will turn it right side out and top stitch it before I head to the other side. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm not going to top stitch until I do the other side, but I tried to trim away some of that material around the zipper. It took me a hot second because I had to peel the double-sided tape off, but I think that'll make a difference. I'm not too worried about right here. It was a little difficult getting in on that curve. All right, so now I want to just do this second side here, just like I did with the first. So I've got my zipper tape and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the front and back of the zipper. And then we just repeat with attaching this to the other side. And then we'll turn it right side out and we'll top stitch. Okay, so we're going to start putting this onto the exterior first. Here, centered. Right there. Okay, got that piece on. And then I'm going to take this tape off. And put on my other side of the lining here, right sides together, centered. Okay, so we're going to now sew this side. All right, so I'm gonna take the time to peel out my double-sided tape and trim this down again, and then we will turn it right side out and top stitch. Oh, actually, I think she has you do it so it's lining side out to top stitch on your flatbed. So let's do that. Okay. So I am going to top stitch along my zipper from the inside. I'm just pulling everything so it's situated where I want it. I'll have to pull a lot of it as I go. All right, here we go. Let me switch back to my normal foot now. I have better luck top stitching with a normal foot than a zipper foot. Here we go. All right. So my two pieces are uneven up here at the top, but I think it's going to be okay when we go to sandwich it all together. We can fix that. Are they uneven on both sides? A little bit, but not by a ton. I think when I put it with the zipper, I should have matched the side seams after the center and then worked in the middle. So keep that in mind. What do we do next? Okay, so after you have that all top stitched, we're going to work on our connectors, I believe. I just want to turn it out to see what it looks like. Okay, I think that looks pretty dang good. All right, let's go to the next step. All right, so we're gonna prep our rectangle ring and O-ring. They're all done the same way. I've already done my rectangle ring connectors. Okay, I'll show you how I did it. So I have my piece here, line down the center, and we're going to fold raw edges in. And then I'm gonna, you could probably do this one or two ways. You could go like this and do the top stitch up and over and down. But since I already did it one way on those ones, I'm gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna just do this top stitch down first. And then you're just going to wrap it around your O-ring and then do another line of stitching across so your O-ring's not flinging around. Okay, just get as close to it as you can. Beautiful. All right, so with this one, what I want to do is, it says the close end of your zipper, which for me, I'm doing a double zipper pull on my bag. So both of my ends are closed right now. But I'm going to go on, so here's my bag. Okay, this is the front of my bag. I'm going to go on the right side, right end over here. You want to baste it on the exterior side. I need to baste this bottom edge closed too, so it's not two pieces on me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to, instead of basting, because that's kind of hard to get in there to baste, I'm going to tape this on. All right, so I'm just going to get some tape here. Okay, and we want to make sure it's on the exterior side, and I'm going to line it up right there in the center, right there. Okay, that's where I want it. That correct? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now what you want to do is kind of flatten these pieces out. It's kind of weird, but I get exactly what she's doing, and she's closing up this top edge just like that. But you got to try and get it as even as you can here. Okay. I think about right there. And pinch that all closed, all your layers together. And we're going to sew across all of these layers. All right. Got our zipper in the middle there. We're going to sew across all these layers. Just a minute. That clip was in the way. And your seam allowance is pretty big. So that's good. If you have any overlay of this, it's going to make up for that. Sorry, I've never made this bag before, so I'm just trying to make sure that everything is situated where I want it. I'm going to just clip that. And then I'm not sure exactly how I want it all to lay yet. Let's try that. All right. So we're going to sew across that. Fingers crossed that that's where we want it to be. Okay, here we go. That is a big jump right there, guys. Because I've got my zipper and my O-ring. So if you have a hump jumper, I like to just fold a piece of vinyl behind my foot to get us over that. Let's try that. That's pretty thick, especially because my connector is pretty thick, so I need one help coming off too here. All right, I think we're good. You can trim some of this down. She says to turn it out first, but I'm just going to trim. I know this is extra. And you don't really want to trim your connector. I'm going to trim my zipper tape down just a little bit, just because I know I had a little extra than I should. All right, let's just turn this through real quick and see what it looks like. Okay. It's thick. I probably made my connectors with too thick a material, but that's okay. You live and you learn, right? Okay. So there's that one. All right, so I didn't pull it all the way through because it needs to be back the other way to finish everything. To do the other side. Okay. These connectors are next. Let's go to the straps. Okay, so we're going to work on our zipper for the straps. So here's my zipper. I have to do that 90-degree pinched folded edge. So I measured a 1/2 inch down, okay? And then I like to separate it and pinch it. and you grab that pinch and pull it up to the teeth, and it creates that 90-degree fold. Just like that, okay? Do that on both sides. Pinch on that line. Bring that pinch right underneath your teeth. And then I'm just gonna baste that in place on both sides real quick. Okay, and then that's what you end up having. I have a little extra zipper tape here. I'm going to trim it down to the exact length it needs to be for our straps. And then I'm going to show you how to do one strap, and then I'll do the other one off camera. I think I will be separating my zipper. I just feel like it's easier if you're confident enough to do it. So I'm going to trim it down to the exact length it needs to be while they're still both attached. And then I'll draw a line across the back so I know where to connect it. When I put on my zipper, I'll know if it's straight or not, okay? I'm also going to put double-sided tape on this. On both sides. I feel like that might be easier. All right, so let's grab our strap. So I have my strap here. I already have my double-sided tape on. I'm just going to fold my raw edges into the center. And then because we're not using vinyl, we're using a raw edged material, I'm going to show you how she does this in the pattern. It's really cool to leave a finished edge on your strap, okay? Okay, so once you have it at this point right here, what you're going to do is fold it, this like right solid side with no fold, you're going to fold that together. Okay, so here's your raw edge here. You're going to fold it just like this, and now we're going to sew through all of these layers right here. It's super cool how this is done. Now you want to trim this down. You don't want that to be too bulky. All right, and then you're going to turn that right side out. Probably need to get like a chopstick or something to push that seam. And then you have a finished edge here. Isn't that cool? Love that so much. So I did that on my other one already too. Okay, beautiful. So that's my finished edge there. I'm going to go to the raw edge down here. What we want to do is encase our zipper in between these two layers, right? So our zipper, we want to put it so it's in between the two layers. I am going to take this apart. I know I'm crazy. I know it's the exact length it needs to be. It's going to line up with the raw edge here. What I want to do, I think, is draw a line on here, an even line to where this needs to be placed so I know that I get it in the correct spot. Oh, I'm trying to think. And then a line on this too. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I want to do 1/4 inch. She doesn't give a measurement how far in. I think 1/4 inch is what I'm going to do here. Okay, so that'll be placed here. And then I need to have a guideline on the zipper as well. So when I fold it over, it's even. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense to me. Yes? So I'm going to do 1/4 inch line on my zipper tape as well. So I know both layers are even, because if we go to top stitch and we don't catch one of these layers, then we'll have to do another row of stitching. Okay, so I'm going to take off the tape here, off the back. Line it down here at the bottom with the edge, the raw edge, along that marking. Could probably even do a 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and then we'll fold it over. And I'm going to line it up. So hopefully it's all even. Looks good. Okay, now I'm going to top stitch that. Oh, it's twisting. All right, I'm going to take it and come down the other way. I was wondering if it would twist like vinyl, and it is twisting like vinyl. So we'll come down, and I did get both sides, so that is good. So if you're doing this and you have stretchy material, come down the same way, and it won't twist on you. All right. Beautiful. So I caught the zipper. It looks great. It's even on both ends. Love. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other strap, which I've kind of already prepped here. So this is my folded end. So let's go ahead and do those same steps to this side. I was going to show this, I was going to do this off camera, but I might as well just do it while I have it here. Okay. Come on. No. You know what? I have to do it on this side now. Other side. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? Ay, ay, ay. All right, so now we'll sew this one up. Okay, and then I'll come down and go down the same way on the other side so it's not twisted. Okay, I'll put my zipper pull on and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so we want to put on our slide and our rectangle ring. So I already did it on one of these. So on the other one here, I'm going to put it up. Sorry, this is falling down. Okay, up and down through the slide bar. Okay. I'm going to move it so I have more to work with here. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to get my rectangle ring and I'm going to put that on. Kind of going up this way and down. Okay, looping that through. And then with this piece, I'm going to go back farthest away from me, up the slider, and then back down on the side closest to me. My ends are a little thick, so it's come on, I know you can do it. There we go. Okay, back down through the slide. Beautiful. So right here, this piece that I went up and over with the end, I'm going to attach these two together. I'm just going to sew those two together. Give myself some more space here. Okay, so I'm just sewing this to this. Actually, I kind of want to make sure that they are even. I did a little bit more on this one. Even a little more. There we go. That looks even. All right, even Steven. You could do a rivet. You could do a couple of rows of stitching. However you want to do it is great. All right. Beautiful. All right, so now we want to connect this to our bag. After your slider is on, we are going to be working with the other end here and the other side of your bag that we haven't sewn shut. So she says the open end of the zipper. So if you're doing just one zipper pull, if you put that pull through twice, it'll close both sides. And then you won't have to worry about stitching this side shut. That's, you know, my 2 cents. All right, so for this piece right here, we're gonna wanna put it up the exterior side of the bag. Okay, it's gonna be on the exterior. And you want the right side of your zipper handle piece to be with the right side of your exterior. Okay. Let's see if I can get it in there. Okay, just right up there. I'm going to try to center. It's just all kind of a squished mess up here, but it'll fit. So I centered that, and then I want to center all of this with it. Okay, good. Right there. And then I want to squish that lining with it. Open that. Squish it all together. Ouch. Oh, my clips. Had 2 break on my fingers today. It's the worst. Okay, it gets thick. That's a thick mama right there. You got 2 zippers, you got your straps and all your pieces. So, you know, pay attention to that. So we're going to close this all up again. Here we go. I don't think people with domestic machines, you really are going to need to pay attention to your layers and your thickness. I'm going to do a second row across as well, just to make sure I get it all and it's secure. Okay, I'm going to trim. I'm not going to trim my strap and zipper panel, but anything extra that I can trim down, I can trim down this tape a tiny bit. I don't need that much extra sticking out. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. I think now we want to turn this all right side out and baste our rectangle straps where they need to go. So let me do that. Okay, that's what it should look like. We're good. I'm just going to double check everything. All right, that's what it should look like currently. So these straps need to come, what's going to happen is these come through your O-ring here. Like that. And then these rectangle rings go down here along this side. Okay, and I know where my center is, so I'm going to baste them right there. I'm just basting to my exterior. Okay, make sure they're not twisted. I should take my own advice. Okay, good, right there. I'm going to line it up with that center mark that I can see. And I'm just doing it through my exterior, all right? Okay, last step, we need to attach the bottom circle pieces. So I'm going to turn these, we have to work with one side at a time, I believe. Back inside out. And we will sew on the circle bases. All right, so I am going to start clipping this circular base on. I have marked my 4 centers. I know where my 4 centers are on these pieces as well, and then I'll fit it in. I am a little concerned about pulling the bulk of this bag through the pocket. I may leave some of my base open to finish through the pocket and have a bigger turning hole. I don't know yet. Let's just get this sucker on here first. So I'm gonna start by matching up all of, I hope these are, yeah, my 4 centers here. Oh, she's thick right there. Do you see how thick that's going to be? I don't even think I have a clip that'll clip that. All right. Things to note next time. Do not use super thick material for your connectors. Here. All right, so now we need to fit in all of these. I don't think I need to do notches. This looks like my material might stretch nicely and fit. So I think I'm okay to just go for it. I'm going to trim that little piece down. So what I think I'm going to do, this usually is the way I'm most successful, is I'm going to baste this on first, and then I'm going to go in at my full seam allowance and do a whole round at my full seam allowance, and then we'll go to the lining. All right, there's my first time around. I need to change my bobbin real quick, and then we will do one more time around. I want to show everybody how close I was to being done. Do you see this? Do you see this? That's how much I had left. Insane. Okay, anyways. All right, bobbin loaded. Second time around. Full seam allowance. Here we go. Okay. There's my base. All about the base. I'm happy with it. I think it's going to be great. Not too worried about that. Now we need to put on this side. So I need to decide if I want to leave a big hole. Do I think this is enough to pull all this through? Ooh, baby. I'm not sure. All right. We're just going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to attach the base all the way around. We'll try and pull through the pocket. Maybe I will be pleasantly surprised. Okay. Same thing. I'm just doing all my centers first. If I need to clip into the main body piece for the curve, I will. We'll see how it fits. I think I'll be okay. I don't think I need to do clips. Okay, I have this all clipped on. She suggests sewing the bottom of this at a bigger seam allowance so it fits nicer into your exterior. So I'm going to baste it just like I did with the other side. And then I'll take it at that bigger seam allowance all the way around. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm going to go around at that bigger seam allowance. Okay, so after you do that bigger round of stitching, make sure that you trim that base down or else it's going to be way too big in your bag. So I'm going to trim this seam allowance down. And then we are going to try and turn it through the pocket. I may or may not hate my life after that. I don't know. We shall see. Oops, sorry. Just hit the camera. Okay. Deep breath. Let's turn it. We did it. Yay! We did it. Oh, how cute is that? Okay. That's kind of adorable. I'm digging that. Let's make these match. Okay, so we just want to make sure that everything is kind of laying and poked out where we need it. Make sure you're happy with everything before you close up that zipper pocket, right? That is pretty dang cute. Oh my goodness, we did it. We did that. I kind of love that. And then what? You take this and then I forget how you transition into a backpack. You go like this and pull these through the hoop like this. No, I don't know. I gotta look at the pictures and see how you do it into the backpack. That doesn't seem right. I think it lays up like that. That's pretty dang cute. All right, so all we have to do now is close up our, I like it just like this. I think it's cute like this. All right, let's close up our zipper pocket and then we're done. Okay, it was bugging me that I couldn't remember how to pull it up. There. You pull that O-ring to the top here and it pulls up this side of your bag and then you have a backpack. And then it looks like that. That's really cute. That's such a cute design. Okay, now let's close up the zipper pocket. All right, so I have this open. I'm just gonna pull out my zipper pocket lining piece and we will sew that together and then we're done. That's all she wrote. Stuff that back in and you are good to go. I'll stand up and we'll show how it looks on and all of that kind of good stuff. Make sure it's all tucked in there nice. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. That is so cute. All done. Okay, we are all done with this gorgeous bag, the Etol, I hope I'm saying that right, Etol Convertible bag. How cool is this bag? I haven't made anything like this. This is very much a different style of bag that I have never seen before. It is super cool. I'm going to show you if I can remember how we converted it. So you just pull it. So the O-ring goes up to the other side of this and then you unzip like that. And then you have yourself a backpack. If I can put it on because I'm sometimes... All right, and then you have a backpack. How cool is that? Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. It is unique. It is different. It is fun. Go check it out, guys. Again, this was the March Bag of the Month Club bag. So for those of you who have the membership, go download this pattern, sew up this bag. It was super fun. Tips for people making it: go light on your interfacing. That would be my #1 suggestion. And have fun with it. It is super cool. Thank you so much to the designer for letting me make this video. Please like and subscribe if you loved this video, and let me know if you guys have any comments or questions. And we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye.